What is going on, G2K family, G2K army? G2K here. It's a pleasure again being with you guys. I know it's been a while. We haven't had any of these weekly chats that I used to have every week, but that's going to start to change now, especially that we are going to be doing a little traveling towards the end of the year. We got a few events still left to go to, so it's going to be fun, man. We're going to continue to bang out these lives and on today's show, we have a special guest. We're going to be talking about what we call the Southwest Florida Fall Brawl No Prep event. And it's here in our home track at Immokalee Raceway, which is pretty neat, pretty awesome. It's hosted by Sinister Performance Club, and they do it annually. So, I mean, I'm excited for it. It's this upcoming Saturday. On Friday, they're going to be doing some test and tuning, and then they're going to either scrape the track or once Mike gets on here, we'll be able to find out some more information on that, man. But just a real quick, I want to give you guys a couple shout outs, see who's on here watching. What's going on, Jet? How you doing, Rob, man? I'm glad you guys are here tuning in. So once we want to try to reach out to Mike right now. Um, Florida right now is getting ready to hit with a hurricane, which is kind of crazy, given the fact that we're in November. I think it's only been like the second hurricane I think in record history that this has happened. So, not really looking forward to it. It doesn't look like it's gonna hit us directly and where we're at, but definitely we're gonna get some rain. We're gonna get some storms, and this no prep event is this weekend, so hopefully it doesn't affect us in any kind of way. So that's all I'm looking forward to. What's going on, Cole? Everything looking everything looking crazy today, man. I got the stash going, so we're gonna definitely make it happen. Let me see if I could get Mike on the line right now. But while I'm doing that, guys, check out this video from our sponsors. Hey guys, G2K here. I just want to take this time to thank you guys, each and every one of you, for watching this live stream. And if you haven't subscribed already, now is your chance. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps our channel out. So G2K Racing is here for you guys to bring you exclusive content, exclusive interviews, and exclusive live streams. So stay tuned. We got plenty more to go. Let's continue with the action.
Hey, glad you're watching G2K Racing. If you need some more racing action and hey, some plain old shenanigans, make sure you check out my channel, Backyard Shenanigans.
Guys, to subscribe for me. Subscribe to this man's page. Watch some cool ass drag racing.
Hey, you heard it here first, guys.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You lost, motherfucker. You straight up lost.
Where's the best fried bologna sandwich in Oklahoma?
It's not in the fucking county jail. I'm sorry.
The problem is right now I'm gonna look for the borrowed, broken, used menu.
Kick me in the mouth. Back up.
We all know that.
You gotta love this guy. He loves the sport. Just to sit out here and sweat and be with us, you gotta love it.
I love the chase.
Want to see more racing? Go check out our YouTube channel, at Team Meatball Racing. For all your no prep content. Don't forget to subscribe.
All right, guys. So we're back, and we're just waiting on Mike. He might be popping in, real soon, but we're waiting on him right now and trying to see here something. This is the event that's going to occur this week. It's the Southwest Fall Brawl, Southwest Florida Fall Brawl. No prep, so I think Mike is here with us, so we're gonna go ahead and bring him in. How you doing, Mike?
Good, you?
Good, man. You can hear us fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, man, I hear you good. No issue.
Awesome, my brother, man. Well, good to have you on the show, man. I'm excited to talk to you, man. How are things going in your neck of the woods right now?
Not bad. Weather's still okay here. It seems to be Forecast looks like this weekend will still be good. So I don't think the weather's going to hit us as badly as the other coast, but
Yeah.
so far so good.
Well, man, yeah, I know that right now that other coast is getting hammered, but it looks like we're gonna, be able to get by and not have any kind of bad weather here, man. So I think the event is still gonna move forward without any hiccups, man. So, and speaking about this event, man, but before we get to that, tell us a little bit about yourself, Mike. Like for those people who don't know you, I know you're from Canada. You got an S10. I mean, tell me just a little backstory on you and how you got into racing, just to give us a little insight as to who you are.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, as everyone knows, I'm from Canada. I come down to Florida. I've been coming down here for as long as I can remember, to be honest. I feel like it's my second home down here in the winter time. Started in racing, I don't even know how long ago. Did some stuff with some Mopars. I had a Challenger, Pro Charge Challenger I started with. Very hard car to get down. Manual car. Was cool as a street car, not so cool as a race car. Switched over to something unique. Went with the Trackhawk platform when the Trackhawks were still brand new and nobody really knew too much about them. And started racing with the Jeep. So the Jeep was a lot of fun. Surprised a lot of people. Back in the day, you could get away with it because no one knew what a Trackhawk was. So you'd show up with a giant Grand Cherokee. Everyone laughed at you and asked you why you were there. And then all of a sudden you started handing out ass whippings. And things changed very quickly. So I don't know. I grew up with the street racing stuff. We used to do it when we were a lot younger. And this transition over to no prep, all the no prep stuff has been amazing. It's awesome to be able to go somewhere and race like you would on the streets without having to worry about cops and getting impounded and arrested and everything else. So I don't know, it's pretty cool that the no prep stuff is kind of blown up now and everyone's into the no prep. So that's kind of my background. We do a lot of stuff up north. I mean, I've seen you at a few of the big events down here in the US, but we do a lot of no prep stuff north of the border. It started to catch on about 2 years ago. I guess COVID kind of helped because everyone was stuck at home. So people started, instead of crossing over and coming down to the US, the Canadian no prep scene kind of blew up because everyone's cars were kind of trapped up north. So
I bet.
Yeah, it's slowly grown up there. I started with them when it kind of started, and I've been racing up there for a few years now, and the scene's gotten bigger. And now that the border's open, a lot of guys, like we had Johnny Quick up racing with us in Canada, and some of the other guys from Detroit, because
that's awesome.
Detroit's not too far from us, right? It's easy to cross the border in 3 hours there, or even less, to some of the events. So yeah, it's growing up there, but whenever I came down here to South Florida, there was not a lot to do. I mean, I've been going to Immokalee now for quite some time, and it was cool to do the Friday night test and tunes and everything else, but it was kind of like, unless you were into bracket racing, which I'm not, there wasn't really.
I think a lot of our viewers are not either, so you could continue with that. I don't think we're.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. So I would come down here, and it's so far south that in order to go to any other kind of like no prep stuff, you'd have to go like northern Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, which is, a fair drive. So I thought, hey, why don't we give it a shot down here in South Florida? I know a lot of guys that were interested in the no prep scene, but they just didn't have a venue or didn't have an event to kind of do. So that's where I stepped in and said, why don't I start running, a couple no preps down here in the racing season in the winter? And that's kind of how it started. I talked to the owners of the track there. I kind of explained what I want to do and how I want to do it and if they'd be cool with it. And they gave me a chance. And here we are. Now we've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is our 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
Since it started. And it's a good time. It's a good event. I mean, it's not the biggest event in the world. I understand that being down here at the most southern point of Florida. I mean, it's hard. People can only come from the north. I mean, they could come from Cuba, but it's hard to get cars and stuff over.
Yeah, you ain't going to get it on the water, that's for sure.
No, that's what I mean. So, I mean, we have our challenges down here, but I think for a lot of the local guys, they look forward to this. I mean, I kind of let everyone know before I left last year that, yeah, I'll be willing to do it again. And I got a lot of messages over the summer, a lot of people, when's it going to go down? When are we doing this and that? A lot of people are excited, I think, to get involved in the no prep stuff down here. So I get a lot of good. I get a lot of bad too. I mean, that's just part of doing this stuff. So, but I hope, like, my intention's always been just to have a good time, get some good racing going. And that's what we've
Awesome,
kind
man.
of done.
Awesome. I've seen that. Speaking of, like how you were saying about the traveling and stuff, yeah, I've seen you at, War in the Woods. I've seen you at Dig or Die. I've seen you like in different places. So you're actually actively traveling and and just running your car on all these different tracks. What do you have to say like about the Immokalee track compared to these tracks that you see all around? Because a lot of our viewers, they're from out of state, so they're where actually like everything's happening, whether it be in Tennessee, whether it be North Carolina. What would you say, like, how would you describe this track for somebody who's probably watching us right now, who maybe, just maybe, would want to come down maybe for our next no prep event?
Well, if they've been to a front, because now we have like 3 or 4 different variants of no prep racing. So you have your back of the track racing, which is like your dig or die. Milan Dragway in Detroit does back of the track. That's where you're at the track, but running it backwards. Immokalee is still front of the track. So front of the track, I mean, it's non-prepped. They haven't put anything down on it since last week. I mean, a lot of people already say Immokalee's not that great
Yeah,
for prep. So you're starting out with a track that's not super. It's no Bradenton. Let's put it that way. It's still got good prep for what it is, but it's definitely challenging. I know a lot of people have a challenge going down it on a Friday night. So I've talked to them, and we've done what we can to unprep it the best we can. But it's still front of the track, so you got to expect it's going to be a little bit quicker than like a dig or die surface. I mean, it's probably comparable to War in the Woods. I mean, War in the Woods is a little sketchier further down, but as for 60 foot, I mean, War in the Woods was sticky, as you saw.
yeah.
Everyone was pulling monster wheelies there by second or third round. Like, even I was surprised how well it came around.
Well,
So
you would know.
Immokalee,
You would know because you have different tunes set up for these different tracks. So that's why I asked that question.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
where would it?
Immokalee is going to be a little bit faster, but it's not the greatest. I mean, it's still a no prep. It's a front of the track no prep, so it's comparable to like your Onondaga in Michigan. Back home for us, like Toronto Motorsports Park does it back of the track, but it's pretty much the same as the front of the track, just a little worse. So it's a typical front of the track no prep. So it's not going to be the easiest. You definitely can't put a tune up that you have like for any other track at the front of the track. It's still no prep for sure.
Yeah,
So there are some adjustments that need to be made. You can't put all the power in. You're not going to run the passes you think you're going to run. I even say it all the time. I'm like, oh, we should be able to run this. Then you get there and you're like, we're not running that.
yeah, definitely.
So,
Is there anybody? Is there a like what? How's it? Is it gonna be a flashlight star? Somebody's gonna flag it? Like, what is it?
well,
How is this race gonna go about?
the way it works there, because I started this literally by myself. I didn't really have any help. I'm one person. Plus, I'm racing in the event. Like it's very hard to run all these things all by yourself. So I have a few friends now that come down to help out. But the way we had it set up is basically front of the track. It's instant green, so you stage like you normally would. You bulb in, double bulb. But then there's no yellows. It's not a pro tree. Literally, the guy that's sitting in the chair in front of the tree controls when the green goes on. So it may come on instantly. It may come on 4 seconds. It may come on. Maybe he fell asleep and we'll just be sitting there waiting and nothing will happen. He's the guy that controls the ball. So it is never. If you think you're going to guess the light, good friggin' luck, because it is so random. I know it's thrown some people off. They double bulb and it instantly goes green because maybe at that point he felt like pressing the button. So you got to be. There is no system behind it. There is no like timing. You can try to time whatever you want. It's going to be different every time. So that's how we made it so that I don't need a jump camera. I don't need a back of the track camera. We still use the tracks system. like the lasers and stuff, so it'll tell you whoever won. There is no disputing it. Like whoever passes the line first wins, right? So
Yeah.
it's still based off of the tree. It's just no real tree. It's instant green, and it's unpredictable instant green because it really comes down to when he presses the button.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of interesting. That because it's probably going to be Gary there sitting down,
yeah,
or
so
somebody
you never
specific.
know. I mean, he could be drinking a coffee, and you're sitting there on the trans break going, "Is this guy going to hit the button?" And then all of a sudden, he hits the button.
Yeah. Oh, so
So
so there so then there is going to be some form of control when it comes to the light. It's just like the light's not going to light itself. There's a gentleman that's sitting down, and he has the
yeah,
control
it would
to.
be no different. It would be no different than a flashlight start, except he's sitting down with his back to you. You have no idea when he's going to hit that button. Like I said, it's completely
Yeah.
up to him, and it's triggered by him. So there is no pro tree delay. There is no, oh, if I count in my head, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, the light's going to go on. You can't do that because it's completely random every pass.
No, and also what I've seen also that when you stage both cars and then you got the guy, leading you on and you bump it, like at least with this system, you have both lights are gonna, you're gonna double bulb, so you're gonna know that you're in the spot where you need to be. Where I don't think people will be complaining, other than the fact that you know some people would want it to like function as a tree, but I think that the instant green, I mean, you said it yourself. There's no possibility or possible way that we could have somebody flagging it unless that was and it requires a lot of
Well, it
people.
just it brings a new aspect to everything. I mean, I've been to a ton of no preps, as you know, and they got flaggers, but then you got to have the jump camera, you got to have finish line camera.
Yeah,
There's a
it's a lot
lot
of
more
work.
involved. And doing this by myself, I didn't have the option of having all these people, right? So the
Yeah,
easiest way for me to make it happen was by doing it this way. And you know what? It works. I mean, if you jump, you red light, so they know you jumped. I mean, you can try to guess the light. There's minimal movement out of your car that you can make. I mean, you can crack a tire if you think the light's going to go on, and we can't catch that. But if you red light, you red light. Like, if you
yeah,
guess
that's
wrong,
it. You red
you
light
red
is
light and
it.
you're out. So
So
it just makes everything a lot simpler, I guess, for someone like myself who's trying to run this thing with a very small crew. So it just, like I said, I race in these events too. So it's a lot. It's a lot to do. Luckily, I have, like I said, a few friends who come out. They keep an eye on all the races. They record everything on the clipboards. They just generally help me out with everything. They work on the truck when I bring it back, so I can concentrate on doing chip draws and stuff like that. But it's
awesome.
a little overwhelming for one person, but I make it happen.
So you're gonna have people also teching some of the cars. I mean, I know there's rules, and we're gonna get into the rules probably within the next, couple minutes. We'll get into the rules that we have set up for the classes that are gonna be ran. But as far as the teching the vehicles and
Yeah,
making sure.
the way the tech works normally, and I tell people this all the time, is when you come in, even is the easiest. Bring the car right to the trailer. I have my trailer set up right out front so everyone can see it. Most people bring their cars right away to the front. I look them over quickly. They pay. I give them their number, and then they can go to their pits and do their thing. So
Okay.
we have 4 classes, as you know. We have a run what you brung class. We have a small tire class. We have a true street class, and then we have a modern muscle class.
All right. Yeah.
So
Which
the rules.
I'm gonna get
Sorry, go
into
ahead.
that. I'm gonna get into posting these things. Let me see if I could get them on here on the screen, and we could probably post first this wrong what you brung and all these classes. Let me just put this on the screen here for us. All right, I know you can see it there better than I can, but it says slick tires are welcome, drag radials are welcome. It talks about when the gates open up, and then it has this is what to expect, is what I'm seeing here. And then those are
Well,
the
I
4
can break
classes.
it down. I can break it down easily so people can understand. The run what you brung class is basically whatever you want, other than we don't accept top fuel dragsters and like rail cars and stuff like that. So that class you can run all-wheel drive. You can run. It's basically open to anybody's car, chassis cars, anything like that. So the run what you brung class is basically as it says. You bring whatever car you want and you can run it. And then we start going down from there. So you got your small tire class is 28.10.5s. Back up north, I know there's a dispute between 29.5 and 28.5. Where we come from is 28.5, 10.5 is small tire. So 28 10.5 non-W, still has to have steel roof and quarters. This year I put a no tube chassis cars. The reasoning behind the no tube chassis car is this is still front of the track, no prep. I know a lot of people argue and say, well, you know, my chassis car is fine at dig or die. You're talking about two completely different surfaces. So I've been to a lot of no preps. I've seen all the rule sets. I kind of base these rules on what I think would be best to get closer racing and to make it feel like, you know, when you come out, you have a chance. I mean, with these rule sets, everybody has a chance to win. I don't see one car having an advantage over others. So all-wheel drive I allow in small tire as long as they're on a 17-inch rim or bigger, and they can only have a 275 or a 28 10.5 or smaller tire. So that's kind of our small tire rules. And then we get into True Street. True Street I adjusted a little bit this year with a few things that it's really small. Sorry, it's hard to see.
Yeah, I know,
Oh,
and it's
wait, I
hard for
got
me to see too. Trust me, I'm up on the screen, but I
well,
know
the
that
True Street stuff, we went any DOT tire. I know that. I put in an exhaust rule this year to try to eliminate a lot of the small tire Mustangs. I know I got a lot of slack about the exhaust stuff. We have, you can enter front wheel drive, any size tire. For the all wheel drive, we have 100 tread wear minimum to try to even everything out. It's got to be plated, insured, all the usual True Street stuff, working headlights, tail lights, turn signals, no tube chassis, stock style front and rear suspension, no exposed metal carpet, like a true street car, right?
yeah, one of the biggest
So,
things that I got a lot of people that they liked about that in particular, they said must have front end. That's what you put there, must have front end. I mean, I've seen a lot of cars who
well,
have.
yeah, you know what? I'm hoping these upcoming years they're going to put that rule back for all classes because these cars showing up now are like they're stripping them more and more. At what point do I show up with my pickup truck with just a cab? Do you know what I mean? And have no bed, no front end, just an engine and a cab. I mean, sure, I could save a shit ton of weight that way, but it looks ridiculous. Like, I want to get back to real cars racing. Like, your car should show up with fenders, bumper, hood, or you
Yeah,
know
that's
what?
one of the
Even
big
without a
things.
hood, without a hood is not the end of the world, but the rest of the car should be there. Like nowadays, you see it yourself. There's just a little bit of tube work in the front, barely holding a motor in these cars. And they got nothing left in the front. They put a little LED light bar as a headlight. That's not a car.
Yeah, I think
So,
eventually something might change. I mean, I know that that's one of the biggest things that we get on our lives from everybody who's actually watching the streams. That's the first thing that they always say is, man, like, you know, how are they allowing these cars with no front end on them, you know? And it's like, you know, what can you do? So I know one of our subscribers, you know, one of our moderators on the channel, that's the first thing he noticed, you know, for like True Street. He said, finally, I see a class that has to have a front end, you know, on it, where a lot of it, you know, and if you don't put that in there, then somebody could come to that True Street class without a front end. And that could be, I mean, some cars are heavier than others, but you know, every little bit of advantage helps. And you know, in this
well,
name
and
of the
I
game is,
understand. I get why they do it. Multiple reasons. It's easier to work on the car. They shed all the front weight off that they possibly can. So the more stuff you take off the nose, the better it works as a no prep car, especially on shitty surfaces. Problem being is, like I said, it kind of takes away from car racing. Like they turn into just like buggies almost, where there's nothing there. There's literally no front end at all. They've stripped everything off the car and just make like a tube shell. So I don't know. I think it would be cool if they started implementing at least everything but hoods. I mean, if guys, because some guys have, you know, the motor sticks up pretty high.
yeah.
They got all the water intercooler and shit. I can understand not running a hood, but everything else should be there. Headlights, bumper, fenders. It would be cool if they did it. I mean, that's just my opinion. People are obviously going to disagree. Some people will agree, but that's the way I'd like to see it personally. So, yeah, true street class, I tried to really push to make it like true street cars. I know I got a lot of slack with my truck. Everyone says, you know, that's not a true
Well,
street
hold,
truck. It's a
hold.
race car.
Before we go in there, let's go right to modern muscle too, because I know we have a modern muscle. Let me see where you're at, that modern muscle.
Okay, Modern Muscle
Yeah.
was for
It says 2000 and up cars. So you got, I guess, the newer cars on there.
yeah,
And
we're trying to keep it, so guys don't bring their old hot rods for Modern Muscle. Modern Muscle ideally was supposed to be built for the average guys, bolt on. Say you bought a Hellcat, for example, you wanted to pulley it, you wanted to exhaust, all the bolt on stuff, maybe make 700-800 horsepower. That's kind of what this class was built for. It's to try to get the guys who don't have race cars to bring their dailies out and race them.
exactly.
So, I mean, the rule set is basically you have to have a full car, in essence. Like, you have to have full exhaust, you have to have, full interior, DOT approved tires, everything that you would need to drive that car around on a daily basis. We also added single power adder only. So, if it's supercharged, you can't spray it with nitrous. We put a no electric clause, which I know a lot of people aren't going to like, but for now, I mean, like I said, it's a lot of daily cars. Yes, you can pay $100,000 for a Tesla Plaid, and it'll probably beat most of the cars that show up. That's kind of why I put a no electric. I'm trying to get a higher car count in Modern Muscle, and
So
one of those destroys the whole class.
I
So
understand, man. So definitely in this event, we are not gonna be seeing any Teslas out there.
not this time round. I mean, I gotta see roughly what the Modern Muscle like I said, I built these rule sets to try to get people out and enjoying racing. It's not about one person coming through and just puppy kicking a whole class because they went out and spent the most money on whatever car. We're trying to get as many people out and as many people enjoying no prep racing. That's been the whole key to this whole bringing no prep down to South Florida. I just want people to be able to come out and have a shot. Have a shot at winning. This year we got trophies made. I went out and got trophies because everyone likes a little bit of plastic on the living room table. You know what I mean? After an event, it's cool to show off to your buddies. So we got trophies, we got money payouts. So, I mean, it should be fun. It should be fun for everyone, and that's kind of the way I set it up.
Yeah, I think I had the image of the trophies, but now I have it on. I have it on the other device, so I got it. We won't be seeing the trophies, but we will be seeing.
Yeah, it's all good. They're just, it's something cool to take home at the end of the night.
Yeah,
If
and
you
I
win
had
your
it.
class, you got a
I knew
cool
I
little
was missing
trophy.
something on it. So this is your Instagram. This is how people could contact you through Instagram, Sinister Performance Club.
Yep. That's my
Awesome, man.
Instagram. We post a lot of the no prep stuff we do. I have a shop back home in Canada. We work on a lot of third gen Mopar stuff, so we do a lot of car builds for people.
Awesome, man. Who did?
Yeah,
I'm going to show you something. Who did the flyer?
I did.
All right, because I'm looking at the flyer, but that apparently looks like to be your truck there in the white. But I don't know
Yeah,
if that.
that is my truck. That is how it started when I first bought it.
Well,
It's
that's what
come a
I'm
long
saying.
way from that day, but
So if they're expecting to see that, they're not going to see that. They're going to end up seeing this right here, and this is going to be the topic of controversy that we're going to probably talk for a couple more minutes on. So this is the truck now.
yeah, the truck has changed a little. I mean, if anyone knew my Trackhawk from before, it was a camel wrap, exactly the same. I like the camel wraps myself. A good friend back home in Canada does all the wraps for me. So we basically mimicked what we had with our Jeep onto the S10 carbon fiber with some camo. And I love it. I like to have something a little bit unique, a little bit different. So, when you go around the country, people remember you by your vehicles, right? They don't really remember you by the person. So
Do you have a? I know that the track hawk, they called it the Camel Hawk. I mean, I don't know if that's what you called it. I mean, everybody knew it as the Camel Hawk. What is
yeah,
this
that
truck
name
known?
this truck we just call the Sinister Shop Truck. I mean, I'm not. We've thought of 100 different names, but nothing kind of stuck with it. So it's my shop truck. Like, it represents our shop, so we just call it the Sinister Shop Truck. I mean, there's not a lot of camo names that really stand out for an S10, so
So
it's just a shop truck.
officially, the zebra is not one because I've seen that circulating in Facebook. I don't know who came
Oh
up with
yeah,
it. but I
Well,
keep on
James,
seeing the zebra out there. So I don't know if that's something that somebody threw a jab at you or what happened. But that's what I've been seeing
well,
circulating.
everybody's got a name for it. I've heard the mad cow. I've heard the cow. I've heard, whatever. We get called all kinds of stuff. So normally it's by people who are scared to race the truck.
All right. Well, I'm gonna show something, and maybe this is the reason why they are scared. Real quick. I think we got to do a little rewind on that too. I got to see that again.
Nah, just looks fast. It's not fast.
Well, I mean, I beg to differ, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of guys that are probably going to this event or will probably go to one. I know that you're probably going to host maybe 3 or 4 more before you end up going back home sometime in the spring. But what can you tell me about the truck as far as what's the truck? How did you like a little backstory on the truck on how you acquired the truck and whatever as far as you want to disclose on it, and then we'll talk as to what's going
Yeah,
on
no
over here in the
problem.
scene.
I was looking for, well, my first truck growing up was an S10. I've always loved those little trucks, and the parts, I mean, I'm not a Mustang guy. I can never do the Fox body. I know it's the best platform for a no prep vehicle, but I can't do a Fox body. I'm a truck guy. I grew up a truck guy. All growing up, all I ever had was little trucks, and then I got into full-size trucks. I love trucks. So I was looking for an S10 that was similar to what I had when I first bought mine. It was a regular cab short box. So yeah, I was looking on Facebook for over a year, and then I finally found one that was built kind of the way I liked, or kind of the way I was looking at doing one of my own. I mean, we had a Colorado back home that's just been sitting in front of my shop that I bought to build. But when you factor the costs of building something compared to just going out and buying someone else's, they've spent the money already. It made a lot more sense to buy a truck that was already semi-built to the way I wanted it. So I found that truck out in Pennsylvania. I bought it off a guy named Corey. He did a very nice job with the truck. Beautiful job. It's an 850 cage in it. It already had most of the work done that I wanted to get done. Mind you, looking in hindsight now, I probably should have just bought a roller because I basically ripped apart everything that was done to that truck and changed it all. But that being said, I bought a truck that had already an LS swap in it. It had smaller turbos in it. It was just a nice truck. I saw it on Facebook, so I went to Pennsylvania, picked it up, and started doing work on it. Now, the problem with the truck was set up for like radial racing. So the suspension wasn't really set up the way a no prep suspension has to be set up. So I tore out all the suspension and I redid all that. The turbos weren't enough for me, so I swapped out the turbos. Then we ended up hurting the motor, so I disassembled the whole motor, rebuilt it differently. I mean, we've redone the hot side of the turbos now. We've redone the cold side. I've redone all the wiring in the truck. I've
Wow.
redone the computer in the truck. I've redone the transmission. I redid the rear end. So basically, all that money I spent in the beginning was kind of pointless because I redone the whole thing.
Wow. Yeah,
So
that's
the
crazy, man.
body and cage is still original. But everything outside of that, I've pretty much had to change to the way that I wanted it. Like, I mean, with no prep stuff, it's a constant learning. Like, I'm still changing things. This whole week, we were working on redoing the whole hot side of the turbo kit because I just wasn't happy with what was going on with it. So,
Wow.
if you're
So
getting into no
so you got
prep,
an LS based motor in there now with
yeah,
automatic
it's still a
transmission.
6 liter. It's a 6 liter LS. It's twin turbo, ball bearing turbos.
Aluminum
E85.
or aluminum
Sorry,
or steel? The block. Or it's got
steel,
an aftermarket
steel,
block.
iron block, iron
Iron
block.
block.
Yeah, forged internals, iron block, trick flow 220 heads. What else? I mean, that's pretty much it. Air to air intercooler. I don't have an ice box. I put a little nitrous on it now to help kill some of the DA sometimes. I've changed all the fuel system in it because we didn't have enough. I kept having problems with it, so I had to redo the fuel system. Like I said, I've redone everything. So I've redone it to the way that I wanted it done. I mean, I'm a little bit, I guess, anal with the way I like things. So if it's not the way I want it, then I'll change it till it is. So the truck's been a constant work. I mean, we struggled. I blew the motor in it twice because of multiple issues with it. So, I mean, from tune-ups to battery issues to fuel pump issues. But now I think I finally, a year later, have gotten it to where I'm happy with it. And now after this race, I'm probably throwing a different motor in it. So
when you raced it on the previous no preps, was that under the old setup, not the new stuff that you've done to the truck, or was that
yeah,
how the
that was
truck?
basically all I did for those races was change the front suspension at that point. So since that point, yes, I've changed pretty much everything from last year's ordeal.
But you did win a couple of those events, right? I mean, I remember you clearly winning some of these events with that
Yeah, I
setup.
won. I won 2 of the events last year. Small tire and True Street, I think. And yeah, I mean the truck worked okay. It's just like I said, I have a certain way I like to do things. So if it's not like the wiring was decent, but it wasn't the way I wanted it, so I tore it all out and rewired it.
Well, and I'm pretty sure that right now the truck has to be as well, other than just the everything that's done, it has to be just maybe a little faster too as well.
It's a touch faster, I would say, for sure. But
So
that's the point of isn't that the point of what we're doing here?
yeah, of
Nobody
course.
works on their car to make it slower.
That's the truth, man. You gotta get quicker and quicker as you go, especially when you're competing. And you're not only competing here in Florida, you're competing with a lot of heavy hitters all around, the country, which they're throwing the kitchen sink at it, and they're not really playing any kind of game. So, what kind of backlash have you gotten? Because I've had heard rumors. There's just stuff always circling around, and then now almost when you come down from Canada, it almost like everything's on edge. And I've seen that people are like, some are scrambling, some are getting ready to put their stuff together to race. But what have you seen with as far as like the comments that you get? Not only hosting the event, teching the event, racing in the event, and then having a truck that is a to me is a killer. It's definitely a real well built truck. So what can you
Well,
elaborate on that?
in fairness, I'm kind of used to this now. I mean, we got a lot of hate with the Jeep back home. We got a lot of hate down here with the Jeep. It's become a constant. I don't know if it's a thing where people are threatened when you're fast or you build something fast and they don't like it because they have to put in work. I don't know what the reason behind it is. I get a lot of love and I get a lot of hate. A lot of people message me and say, awesome, thank you for bringing no prep racing down here to South Florida. And then I get a lot of messages saying, oh, you changed your rules to fit your agenda, you're doing this, you're doing that. But realistically, I've changed the rules. They've screwed myself. And I've never been scared. I've told people I'm not changing. I didn't kick chassis cars out of small tire because I'm scared to race chassis cars. I'll run what you brung. I'll run any class. I do it back home. I run big tire. I run small tire. I don't care. I have no fear in losing. Losing to me is not losing is just it's a teaching element. I've lost all year. I mean, I've went to some of the biggest events with the biggest killers on the planet, not expecting to win,
Of
but
course.
it's just having fun. Like we're going out, we're going to go race, we're going to have fun. If I lose, I'm not going to go home and make a big Facebook post and cry about it. I'm going to go home, I'm going to say, why did I lose this weekend? And we're going to make changes. I've been doing it all year. I've been losing all year. We started the year horribly. I came from Florida on a high thinking, this truck's great. We're going to do great. And then you start going to other no prep events and you're getting your clock cleaned. I'm like, okay, well, it's not great. And we need to start making improvements and we need to make our stuff more competitive. And that's just how I am. I'm going to come down here. That truck's always going to be on point. Don't ever think I'm going to come down here with something slow because that's not me. So if you're threatened by what I'm bringing down here, then maybe racing's not for you. I mean, this is what it's about. It's about being faster than you were last year. If you have your bracket car that you built in 1981, it's not going to be competitive now. I'm sorry, that's the reality. Everybody who's competitive is getting faster, and I've seen that in the no prep world. You
Of
used to be
course.
able to come out into the no prep world running 620s, 6.0s, and having no issue. But now, guys, I've seen cars running low fives. Like at some of these no preps, it blows my mind. I'm like, how the hell did these guys get so fast? But that's just the reality of this sport, like any sport. It's competitive. So if there's a problem they have with my truck, they should maybe go out in the garage and take a look at what they got going on and put a little work into it. That's all I can say, because we've been working all week. I've been working since I got down here to Florida to make sure the truck's on point when we come out this weekend, because I want it to be the best. If I get beaten, I want it to be because the truck it just got beat.
Yep. Well,
I'm not going to give you an excuse, like if you beat me, you beat me. I'm going to give you everything that truck has. I'll put as much spray as it'll take. I'll put as much boost through that motor until the rods hang out the side. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
But you're going to get 110% from me every event I go to. That's just the reality. So I know we got a lot of slack with the True Street stuff. In fairness, that truck it's basically a True Street truck throughout the U.S. There is nothing on that truck that would not make it True Street. I know because I won True Street down here in Florida, they said I was cheating because it had a plexi rear window for the bars to go through, and that was a big controversy and all this shit. But really, like, if you're worried about my plexi rear window when I'm carrying around so much extra weight to get traction, the glass ain't going to change shit. No offense. Gladly throw another 25 pounds on the back or whatever that rear glass weighs to consider it fair. But I'll take the other 75 out of the back and add the 25. Like it's a stupid comment to me. That truck is the very top of a True Street class. Like it is. I understand it's teetering on the rules at the very edge, but it is within the parameters of the rules. So what did I do this year? I put in an exhaust rule. So now I can't run True Street. My truck can't run True Street because my exhaust, the old exhaust did go behind the tire. And if I wanted to be a dick, I guess I could put the old exhaust back on. But I have no interest in that. I'm going to run what you brung. I don't care. I want to run the fastest cars Florida has to offer. And if I lose, I lose.
So if like per se, like the run with your brung class, so you're open to running that too. If need be, you would go down that with no hesitations.
Dude, I will run any class. I could care less. If I donate $300 to run what you brung and get beat by a chassis car that's a 490 car, so be it. I just like racing. And maybe, you know what? It's racing. Maybe I will get a chance and maybe I'll beat that guy. And it'll be even cooler if I do.
Yeah.
But if I don't, then I don't. I'm not going to lose any sleep about it. I don't, I'd like to see guys. I just want to see some good racing. So I don't need the drama. I don't need, I don't complain a lot about this stuff because to me, I just want to race and I'm good with it. So.
Well, that's awesome, man, because at least that speaks volumes that, you got that mentality that win or lose, you're going to get better every time and get more data on your truck. And, because I believe that there's a lot of people that might be afraid of losing or just of, the what ifs. But like I said, once you line up with somebody, it's anybody's game, and anything could happen. Anybody could break. I mean, nobody wants that to happen, but, it's, you could spin out of control. There's so many variables, but
I've lost to much slower cars and I've won against much faster cars. There are so many variables in racing that you cannot just look at something and say, you know what, that guy's car is so much faster than mine. I'm screwed. I'm not going to race him. I'm going to stay home this weekend. If that's the mentality you have going into racing, then racing's not for you. I mean, Florida's got a lot of beautiful golf courses. You can take up golf, you can go get a nice set of clubs. Racing's expensive, so golf's probably cheaper. But that's not the kind of mentality like that you should have coming into a racing environment. It's racing. Bring your best game, and if you lose, try to do better. That's it. That's all you can do. That's all I do. I lose all the time. So
yeah. Yeah, I
I don't
mean
know
that's
why the animosity or why the comments all the time, but I come down here to race. So that's what I'm going to bring this weekend. I'm going to bring the truck out. I'm happy to race whatever class. I could care less. I'll run chassis cars. I'll run small tire cars. Obviously, I can't run modern muscle. Most likely not going to run True Street because I don't want to listen to the crying. So that's pretty much where I'm at with this event. And I hope a lot of people show up and we just have a good time racing. Like at the end of the day, you're going out, it's going to be beautiful weather, and we get to have fun and race each other and shoot the shit and, just have a good time.
you said that there's also gonna be some time for like some kind of grudge races in between rounds, or anybody who might
Yeah,
want to squeeze in a grudge race, maybe
sure.
on
If you
another
get
class or
knocked
something
out,
like that.
yeah, this year, if you get knocked out of any of the classes and you're no longer racing in a class, you're more than welcome to do grudge races between rounds. We're going to open the track up. So if you get eliminated out of modern muscle and you want to race some small tire guy that also got eliminated, you're more than welcome to do it. If I get eliminated and someone wants to race me, I'm happy to do it. We can do grudge racing. We can do bets on the side. We can do whatever you want. But, sorry, I
Yep, I
can't
got
read
a
these
couple people here
comments.
that are saying, to continue preaching. I don't know if you can see that comment right there. It might be a little blurry. I don't know if you can see it on your end. But JDM Mike says, as Mikey already said, you have to have the mindset of losing. The mindset of losing is a learning experience. I look at it like I never lose, and I either win or I learn. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. That's all I've done this year. I mean, we haven't won a lot. I haven't won a lot with this truck. I'll be the first to admit it. But I've been to some of the bigger events. I've seen some of the bigger cars, the bigger names in no prep racing. I've seen the kind of passes they make, and I watch them and I study and I say, okay, I bring my truck back to the shop. I talk to my guys at the shop and I say, listen, in this video, you can see this is where we failed. So how can we make it faster? How can we make the truck 60 foot better? How can we, are these the wrong tires maybe we're using? Let's try a different tire. It's a constant. You're never going to have a completed car in my
uh,
eyes. Like my truck will never be like a turnkey. You're always changing something. It may just be suspension adjustments, but you're changing things at all times. We've changed the suspension more times than I can count, to the point that I'm sick of looking at it. But
another thing that I've seen that on this particular race, and I think we talked about this earlier, but I wanted you to shed some light. I see that there was no like lock in or anything like that. It's basically you show up, you pay at the gate, you put your buy in, and you're gonna race.
yeah, I tried lock-ins last year and it failed miserably. A lot of people were then, I don't know if they have commitment issues, but they don't want to commit to, like, they don't know until like an hour before race time if they want to come racing. So, I mean, I tried to do the lock-ins. I think it's still small here in South Florida, so it's hard. We're not dig or die. We're not some of these major events that are also middle America, which makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
I was telling someone the other day, I forget who I was talking to, but Middle America has the best places to race no prep because everyone's within about 8 hours. Like, people are more than willing to drive normally 8 to 10 hours to go somewhere for no prep. I mean, I drive 20 hours. To me,
Yeah.
it makes no difference. But your average racer, and with the price of diesel and everything, is normally looking, I'd say, a maximum of about 8 hours away from home. So
Yeah.
being way down here in South Florida, I mean, it's 8 hours to Georgia, is it not? Or not really,
Yeah. Well,
maybe
it's
less
about
than that.
7.
But
It's
yeah, like
definitely
we
a
went and
drive.
did.
It's definitely a drive, and I know that that's one of the biggest. We're such in the bottom that it's a very big thing for anybody to come, and like you said, with the fuel and everything, and just come down here, man. And the beauty of down here is the fact that we're gonna have great weather. Come February, when a lot of these places might be snowed in, and it'd be neat if we could get enough traction and really host like something huge come February, where everybody just puts all their effort into it, man. And because I know that a lot of places, there's not going to be any kind of racing. They're going to be limited to it just because of the weather and being snowed
Well,
in and the tracks being shut down.
I'm actually surprised we don't get more people from the west or the east here. Miami, West Palm, that kind of area, because isn't the track closed now at West Palm Beach?
Yeah, Moroso closed and it became a Walmart. So I know that as of late, every Friday night we might get, like 10 people will come, or 10 cars will come from over there. 5 to 10 cars will on average show up to Immokalee there to see it. I mean, we've been trying to push it through Facebook. I know we got a couple people that live down there, and I mean that'd be ideal. I just think that it just goes with the territory. I feel like there's a lot of people who have cars, but they're just like they'll put a motor in it, but it'll just be like a garage kept car where it's not a racer. It could be a race car, but it's more for show than anything. So to really dig hard into those hardcore racers, man, it's a challenge, and I think that. I mean, you're on the right path. You're actually putting these events, and I think you're just going to continue to grow, man. I mean, we're appreciative that you could bring this world down here, because if not, we wouldn't be able to experience it or see it, unless you were to venture out of Florida and go into Georgia or some places like that to actually experience what a no prep race looks like. So,
Well, yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of I love coming down here. Like I said, it feels like my second home down here. I know a lot of people down here now. I love all the people that I race with locally here. They're all good guys. I mean, we screw with each other all the time, but at the end of the day, I know deep down they're all good guys.
yeah,
And yeah, I just wanted to bring an element of, what I normally race back home down here so that everyone else could have fun. That was the whole purpose behind all this, was just to have something that people could look forward to. You know what I mean? I myself personally got bored every time I came down here because there wasn't really a lot going on. So I'd bring race cars down here and we'd go every Friday night and screw around and whatever. But at some point it gets kind of cumbersome driving and racing. I'd race Ricky every weekend. Like, how many times I got to race him? You know what I mean?
yeah. It becomes monotonous, and there's
Well,
no
yeah, and
fun or joy in it.
there was no real competition. Like, what I like about these no preps is people take it seriously. Once you start shelling money out, now you're there to race. You're not there to sandbag. You're not there to screw with people. You're not there to play games. You're there to actually race. And I enjoy competitive racing. Like, when
Yeah,
the guy beside me lines up, I want him to give me everything he's got. I don't want to, oh, I let off and this, all the excuses after, because there's nothing involved. What does he care? But when you got money on the line and there's trophies on the line and you actually want to win, people actually race and like give 110%. And I love
of
that.
course,
I love the
of course.
competitiveness of it.
Of course.
So,
I mean, they're chasing that. So in summary, what time is the track opening on Saturday for those who don't know right now and are probably watching? Guys, this is being hosted at Immokalee Regional Raceway at Immokalee, Florida. For those of you guys who don't know where this race, and I know some of you have been asking, and I put it up on the screen. It's Immokalee Regional Raceway in Florida, Immokalee, Florida. It's Southwest Florida Fall Brawl No Prep. Mike, what time is the gates opening? What time are we doing chip draw? Like, what time? What are the times?
okay. So on Saturday, the gates, I will be there at 2 o'clock. Well, I'll be there at 1:30, but the gates officially open at 2 o'clock. My trailer will be set up. It's a silver trailer. It's got a big Sinister sticker on the side, our logo. You can't really miss it. We will have the event t-shirts there for sale. I will be doing tech there. We'll also be doing the drivers meetings in front of the trailer. So everything will be, the trailer is the center hub for the whole event. So from 2 o'clock until 3:45, I'd like to shut down tech at 3:45 because we're doing the drivers meeting at 4. So between 2 to 3:45, we'll be doing tech. So like I said, I'll look over the car, or some of the guys that are with me will look over the car. You pay, you get your number, and then you can go pit anywhere at the track there and set up all your stuff. We'll meet back at my trailer at 4 o'clock for drivers meeting. At that point, I'll explain all the rules, the basic rules of how everything works, if anyone hasn't seen it on Facebook or whatever. And then after 4 o'clock, and we do the chip draw, I'll let everyone know what classes are running when. We also have the loudspeakers at Immokalee. I always have a walkie-talkie, so I talk back and forth to the tower, and they announce when chip draws are, what's happening, who should be lining up, etc., etc. And we try to pair you up at the starting line. And basically, as long as you listen to the loudspeaker, I try to be as vocal and let everyone know what's going on throughout the night. You pull chips between rounds. After you get eliminated, then you can grudge race once all the races are done. So once we run through the 4 classes, we're going to open it up for grudge racing so people can cool their cars down. We can do the next round chip draw. and so on. And that's basically how it'll go through the night until it's a winner take all final. So the last
Awesome,
man
man.
standing takes the money, takes the trophy. We take some pictures, shake hands. Everyone has a great night. They go home and enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Awesome, man. So, in conclusion, what would you tell that racer right now that maybe is here watching this live, maybe on Facebook? I know we got this whole dig list page with over 700 members, and the majority of them have race cars, have fast cars. You know, this is your event. You're putting it on for the fans. You're putting it on for the community. You're putting it on for the track and all the racers. What would you look at them right now and tell them to just like in your closing words?
What I would say is, number one, let's not hate when people are trying to put in work to bring racing. We all love racing. I love racing more than anybody. So I think we need to stop with a little bit of this negativity and try to be more positive and promote more of this stuff down here in South Florida. And to guys who want to come out, we've made this rule set basically so every car is competitive. I don't know how much better of a rule set I could make to make these bumper races. So if you got a race car tucked away or whatever, you have a very good shot at winning in whatever class you put your car in, because these cars should be very competitive, very close races. I see no issue in just coming out and having a good time. What else are you going to do? I mean, we went out for dinner the other night and it cost me a couple $100. You can come out racing for a couple $100 and have a great night of racing, meet new people, have a good time. I mean, it's always a good time. We've never had any real negativity. Everyone has a good time, and you got a chance of winning a bunch of money and a cool trophy to take back home, set up in your living room or garage. I mean, I see no negatives in coming out. We need to get more people out. If we can get more people out and more car counts and just new cars to race, I'm looking forward to seeing new faces. I can't wait to see if there's some new cars this season coming out. I mean, I'm looking forward to meeting, new people. So if anyone has like any concern that they don't think their car's competitive, I'm sure it is. And if it's not, come out, race, figure out why it's not competitive, and put in a little more work. And maybe in January when we do another one, you'll have a better competitive car. Like I said, I just want to race, have fun. I want people to come out, have fun. I put in a lot of work for this. I don't get paid to do this. Like, this isn't a big money making thing for me. I do this I just love racing, and I want to bring it down here while I'm down here, and everyone else can enjoy what I enjoy doing. That's pretty much it.
Awesome, my brother. Well, it's been a pleasure having you here, dude, and talking to you, man. It just you gave us a piece of you that now everybody who could go back and watch this video, could have a better understanding who you are, why you do what you do, why you're hosting these events, your vehicle. I mean, you poured out your heart, you laid it all here for us, man. So I'm excited to be at this event. We're gonna do the best with live streaming it and just getting as much media coverage as we can for you. And man,
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you doing this with me. I mean, it's nice just to shoot the shit with somebody, you know what I mean, about all this stuff. I'm happy I know you're a local here, so I'm happy you're looking forward to this. I hope a lot of other people are, and we're just, like I said, just going to have an awesome time racing this weekend. The weather should be great. I mean, this storm's blowing through. I don't think weather will be an issue, so it should be just an all-around great weekend.
Well, guys, there you have it. Mike Corley, Sinister Performance Club. Make sure you check him out on Instagram. Check him out on Facebook, and you'll definitely be seeing him on the live. Him and his S10 at Southwest Florida Fall Brawl. All right, brother. You have a good one, man. Thank you.
All right, brother. Peace. And we'll see you
Later.
Saturday.
Later.
Bye.
Yep. All right, guys. So that was awesome. And there you had it, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We have Southwest Florida Fall Brawl, no prep, out in the Immokalee Raceway happening this weekend. This is what we got here. Awesome, man. I'm going to thank each and every one of you right now, man. I'm going to give you guys a special shout out. Let me just go through the comment section as I see you guys. But yeah, man, it's awesome to have Mike on the show. So I appreciate you, Cole. I appreciate you, JDM, Mike, Steven Smith. I'm going to go down the line. Jesse, man, that's what's up. Misael, good to see you, man. David Lawrence, hoping to see you. and the snail with Nate Long. Guys, check out that video that we did on Nate's Monte Carlo called the snail. And everybody else who watched, man. I mean, I'm going through the list right now, and I appreciate every single one of you. Backyard Shenanigans, everybody out here, man. Just it's been a pleasure, man, having this good time. Stay tuned to the live that we're gonna have come Saturday. We're gonna be Friday at the track. We're gonna be filming all the testing tunes. We're gonna be seeing some of Mike, seeing some of these drivers. We're gonna see if we see some of these drivers that are coming out there to test the surface, to practically get better. I think that they're just going to leave it how it is. So whatever got laid on Friday night, however the track stayed, they're not even going to touch it. So, and that's what we're going to get for Saturday. Man, but like I said, man, I appreciate you guys for taking this time and watching this live, man. Next weekend or next week, midweek, we're going to have, as a special guest, we're going to have Wes Clapp from Knoxville Dragway and Turbo John. I know you guys know Turbo John, so we're going to have Turbo John and Wes Clapp. We're going to be talking about their event coming in November 26th. It's called Turbo John's Backwards Brawl, and that's going to be out in Tennessee, at Knoxville Dragway. So, guys, I'm going to leave you guys with this, and, I just thank you guys for watching, man.
Hey guys, G2K here. I just want to take this time to thank you guys, each and every one of you, for watching this live stream. And if you haven't subscribed already, now is your chance. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps our channel out. So G2K Racing is here for you guys to bring you exclusive content, exclusive interviews, and exclusive live streams. So stay tuned. We got plenty more to go. Let's continue with the action.
Hey, glad you're watching G2K Racing. If you need some more racing action and hey, some plain old shenanigans, make sure you check out my channel, Backyard Shenanigans.
Guys, to subscribe for me. Subscribe to this man's page. Watch some cool ass drag racing.
Hey, you heard it here first, guys.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You lost, motherfucker. You straight up lost.
Where's the best fried bologna sandwich in Oklahoma?
It's not in the fucking county jail. I'm sorry.
The problem is right now I'm gonna look for the borrowed, broken, used menu.
Kick me in the mouth. Back up.
We all You gotta love this guy. He loves the sport. Just to sit out here and sweat and be with us, you gotta love it.
I love the chase. Want to see more racing? Go check out our YouTube channel, @Team Meatball Racing, for all your no prep content. Don't forget to subscribe.